What's up, guys, and happy Halloween! Welcome to this year's Curtis Reviews annual Halloween special. Let's get this thing off. Today we're talking about the 1981 film Halloween 2, directed by Rick Rosenthal and written by Debra Hill and John Carpenter. Picking up directly after Carpenter's 1978 classic Halloween, Michael Myers, Dick Warlock, is on the loose as crazed psychiatrist Sam Loomis, Donald Pleasance, tries to track him down. Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, is whisked away to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, where she's barely given a chance to take a breath, let alone share a Coke with Jimmy, Lance's guest, before Michael arrives to blow up the party. Before we go any further, I have something I'm really excited to share with you guys. At the end of my review, I've included a short film that I wrote and directed in celebration of the holiday. It's titled She Escapes, and I really hope you'll stick around to watch it at the end of the video. Now, Mr. Sandman, bring me a razor blade. Bring me a dream. Halloween 2 is a cynical film, one that feels frustrated by its own existence. I make the claim that the movie doesn't exist because even the movie asserts this fact, that the events of Halloween 2 and even Halloween may as well have never happened. The movie's punching down quality is directly in conversation with the film's production. There were legal battles happening around it with producer Irwin Yablin's, creative differences between Carpenter and Rosenthal, as well as production difficulties which made the filming of the movie more strenuous. In the writing of the movie, John Carpenter and his team were not certain where to take it. In a movie that to this day feels both open-ended and incredibly final, where would you take a story that's more effective in one go as opposed to being stretched and wrung out like Yablin's and the Akkads wanted? Carpenter sank over a script with a six-pack of beer and hammered out the script of Halloween 2 over a weekend, and it shows. There's an immediate step down in storytelling quality where the world of Halloween 2 feels dreamlike, woozy, and just weird. People don't act like they're supposed to. It's more of a movie where things happen, people react to those things, or don't really react to those things, and then there's some gore and nudity thrown in for good measure. It lacks the kind of excitement and glee the first movie had. Even the gore and nudity were reactions to the timing of the film. Slashers and horror in general really took off after the 78 Halloween, so Carpenter steeped more of that into the initial script, and infamously took over directing duties in post-production to add even more blood and guts to the upset of director Rick Rosenthal. And one can understand why he might be frustrated by this, though to an extent the movie had to appeal to the current time. People were used to a level of violence that before then was unheard of, and so the movie is a product of its time. In the movie's intro, Mr. Sandman, performed by the Chordettes, tunes in, delicately teasing the audience. This isn't happening, and you aren't watching something real, or you're a fool to believe it is. It's that self-aware quality that makes Halloween 2 feel like it's stuck in a pocket universe somewhere outside the continuity of the Haddonfield we knew in the first film. Halloween 2 is a dream to look at and behold. With Dean Cundey back in the saddle, how he managed to make a dour hospital look as good as it does is the great miracle of this film. His keen eye for lighting and capturing the darkened corners of Haddonfield as Michael creeps around greatly aids in making the movie feel connected to the first film. As Donald Pleasance delivers the iconic line to a concerned neighbor, "You don't know what death is!" The movie takes off. The camera utilizes first-person POV as Michael skulks around. We're still in the innocent, open-book town of Haddonfield, and the movie nails that aspect in spades. This part was so crucial to what makes the first Halloween work, and thus what makes Halloween 2 mostly work to this day. There just so happens to be some giallo red blood and plenty of moody set pieces within the hospital to make the movie feel even more visually iconic. So many sequences are beautiful to behold. I can name so many, but the scene with the needle reveal involving Dr. Mixter and Nurse Janet with the fish tank, it's perfection. I'll never get over the lighting in this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis returning as Laurie feels cynical in its own right. She had to wear a wig to maintain continuity from the first movie, but her performance feels purposefully jilted. Clearly, Rosenthal was directing her to be dealing with PTSD on screen, so that she barely speaks kinda makes sense. By doing this, the movie hammers home how much Laurie went through in the first film, but we're still within the first 24 hours of Michael's rampage. As she drifts in and out of sleep, Cundey's shadows capturing the walls of the hospital room, we wonder if that's really Jimmy greeting her, not some kind of apparition she's seeing, or more likely, something she's seeing in a dream. Not to mention Dr. Mixter sedates her against her wishes as she pleads not to be put asleep, because something about sleep and dreams may be more painful than her reality, or that she can't protect herself from reality if she falls asleep. One such moment is so incredibly stupid, when she's speechless crawling out of the car as Jimmy passes out into the steering wheel, as Loomis arrives with the U.S. Marshal and Marion Chambers. Why can't can't she scream until after they've closed the door and gone inside? It's one of the moments of the movie where you're scratching your head, but that is something you might experience in a dream. Losing your voice, total body paralysis, out-of-body experiences, lucid dreaming. Curtis is matched by Pleasance's leaning into the loony madness of Dr. Loomis. He's become more crazed and less grounded than his iteration in the first movie, and Pleasance knew exactly what to do here. He's functioning at a level for his character that doesn't make sense. By the end, you're wondering why he wouldn't have gone to the hospital to watch after Laurie. Was there no rational thought process that led anyone, the police, Loomis, to gather that maybe it'd be a good idea to guard a woman attacked by a killer still on the loose? I do take in mind that in the movie's timeline, they're actively grappling with what's happening to them in real time. That said, this idiot syndrome, or as Roger Ebert called it, the idiot plot, hinges on the movie and keeps it from ripping apart completely at the seams. Nobody really does anything that makes sense, and given that it really feels like Carpenter hated that he had to work on this movie as much as he did, it really feels like he wrote these scenarios to be purposefully stupid to piss off the audience. But that doesn't make sense quality is amplified by the game actors and further backs up the movie's dreamy scenarios. Not to mention that there is literal head trauma in the film. When Jimmy finds Nurse Alves, blood dripping from her arm, and subsequently slips and cracks his head on the floor, this could very much be a reference to memories being broken up due to damaging your brain. And this movie might do that if you think about it too much like I have. Dick Warlock is good enough as Nick Castle's replacement for the Shape, though I argue the look of the movie, the iconic mask, and overall vibe capture the character better. The role is very physical, and even more so here. Michael moves into Terminator status, and Warlock's presence is menacing. Dude just walks through a plate glass door and happens to unalive about a dozen people throughout the runtime. He's full boogeyman mode, dream-fueled terror. There's a dark humor permeating through the movie. As the neighbor earlier states to Loomis, "Is this a joke? I've been trick-or-treated to death tonight." When a child arrives at the hospital just as Laurie does, his mother soothing him as he carries a satchel of candy and nurses a giant razor blade in his mouth. An image so visually upsetting yet relevant to the time of the movie's release. It's clear that the movie is spitting in the face of your expectations. I have to admit, it made me laugh for its sheer visual audacity. This mean spirit is imminent in the many different sequences as Michael stalks prey around the hospital, drowned in scalding water, syringes to the eye, poor Ben Tramer getting hit by a car and exploding after the crash. Again, I had to laugh for how over-the-top silly this was. I guess technically Michael didn't do that, but his presence did cause the cops to chase Ben into the street and cause the tragedy to happen. There's even a scene where the Shape is floating into a room holding newborns at the hospital. Sheesh. Is the implication that he's going to harm these kids? God damn. But where the movie really gets spit in your face quality is the reveal from Marion Chambers to Dr. Loomis nonchalantly that there was a file he never knew about Michael Myers, even while he studied the man since he was taken into their mental facility as a child. Literally how? And said file states Laurie is Michael's sister, and so the movie climaxes back to the hospital for the final showdown. To this day, it's a plot point that I, as a lifelong fan of the franchise, have to roll my eyes at and just try to forget when I return to the movie and future installments that refer to the sister connection. It's unnecessary Star Wars bullshit. We get some excellent set pieces in the finale, but we also get the final trip you up the stairs moment, as Laurie shoots Michael in both eyes. She's a pretty good shot, how about that? And we get the iconic eye bleed mask scene she and Loomis deduce, weirdly, to let loose the ether tanks. Again, ether being high, hallucinating. Loomis, ready to finally rid the world of what the cops in town continue to blame on him, even though he basically told everyone not to let Michael out at any cost, allows Laurie time to escape as he blows the hospital to smithereens, ending his and Michael's lives for good, or so we think. Then the fog settles in, kind of like brain fog, or lack of cohesive thinking that might come within a dream, nightmare, or as a PTSD reaction. The movie serenades us with Mr. Sandman as Laurie in the back of an ambulance stares off vacantly, processing what she's seen that night. Whereas the 1978 film feels warm and comforting despite being very scary, Halloween 2 is a different shape entirely. It's bleak. It's funny because it's so stupid and really slow in sections that I feel bogged down a movie that is otherwise paced pretty decently. But I can't deny that it's still an effective and moody entry in the franchise, and shades of it can be seen in the movies that followed and even in the more recent Halloween trilogy. I also think that had Halloween 2 been anything else than this, we may have never gotten Halloween 3. I'd probably rank it third after Halloween and Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, but I admire what Rosenthal was aiming for, even if it ends up being a bit of a mess in sections. Cundey's cinematography saves this thing, and it meets the most important criteria for me for these movies. Be spooky, be scary, and be Halloweeny. Haddonfield must be vibrant and alive, and Michael must go bump in the night. Alan Howarth teams up with Carpenter to synth up the original score, and it creates the same musical atmosphere that the first film did, but with a more grimy and menacing tone. Halloween 2 is as sleepy as it is seductive, affectionate to the source material, but antagonistic towards itself. Carpenter's punk rock energy shines through even with the writing missteps, Rosenthal fine-tuning their pumpkin fork to establish a product that is very much of the 80s and a relic of its time. As someone who enjoys Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, that movie only really really functions because of the strong foundation laid by Rosenthal. It's something I appreciate more and more with each watch. But just be wary of its siren lullaby, the Sandman lulling you to sleep along with the denizens of Haddonfield who wish, or never could wish, that Michael Myers ever found his way home. In conclusion, Halloween 2 may as well have never happened. The likelihood that it happened is only measured by the viewer's experience, and you decide if it's canon. I mean, yeah, it did come out in the real world, but you know what I mean if you're a fan of the franchise. It's a mad dream, as hazy, confusing, and frustrating as it is enticing and beautiful. It's definitely not to the same caliber of the 1978 Halloween, but if you want to get lost in the streets of Haddonfield again, you'll find Halloween 2's embrace warm and welcoming. What did you think of 1981's Halloween 2? Was it a violently sleepy bore, or are you a fan of its unique nightmare fuel and dreamy subtext? Leave all the comments below, and before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time, in the words of Dr. Loomis, I shot him 6 times! I shot him in the heart, but he's not human!
It's been 1 year since the subject, one Haley, last name redacted, slaughtered her fiance, Jake, last name redacted, in cold blood on Halloween night. Subject shows signs of intermittent catatonia, going nonverbal for months-long stretches. Weeks after the death occurred, the subject was communicative and expressed remorse, but there was a darkness in her admissions. At first, she seemed sane, brief moments of humanity shining through, but behind those eyes is something wrong, something angry. Something I've never felt from a patient before.
Well done.
Hello, Dr. Shamrock, old friend.
How are you doing?
Doing well. Should
Alright.
we get to it?
Come this way.
Is the house clear of...
Nothing sharp or pointy. We even make sure none of the flowers have thorns on them.
Good thinking. Any other security measures?
You know, she was sullen, unresponsive at the mental ward.
Completely catatonic?
When she's here, she opens up, she talks. It's a 9-day difference.
Do you think she'd speak with me?
We can try. Would you like me to go get her?
Go see if she's ready.
I think she's ready. One more thing. I think you should take this. She'll open up more.
Hello, Haley. I'm Dr. Pleasance. It's nice to meet you. Dr. Shamrock mentioned this mask might help you open up. I'm here to help. How's your day going so far? Well, I'm not a fan of small talk, so I'll get right down to it. What you did was absolutely reprehensible. I cannot see a world where that would be an okay thing to do, but based on Dr. Shamrock's notes, the man was pretty aggravating, it sounds like. So I empathize with you, but I'm here to see if we can help you. Does that sound good? This? Is this what you want? Will this make you feel better? Okay. There. All better now.
It had to be done!
What had to be done? What had to be done?
You're lying! Why?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why are you lying?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why?
You need to sit down or we're going to be forced to sedate you.
Why are you lying?
Dr. Pleasance, let's take a break. I think that's enough.
Are you mad? Are you mad keeping that woman here? There's nothing behind those eyes. Nothing. Evil emitting from every pore of her body. That we've kept her here for this long. Increase the dosage of Thorazine and continue to watch her. I'll be back in a few days.
A few days. Donald. That's the anniversary of her fiance's death. We usually try to not do anything around that time.
2 days.
Doctor, one last thing.
Yeah.
You spent time with her. What's your official diagnosis?
I'm not sure. Something in there's dead. Evil's taken up root. She's gone. That's weird. The door is unlocked. Dr. Shamrock? Anybody home? Hello? Anybody here? Hello? Anyone? Kyle?
Haley! No!
What was that? Shamrock, you down here? The house is empty. Kyle? Oh my god.
What are you doing? No! No! No!
What have you done? Oh my god. Help! Help! My gun. It's in the car. No! No! You don't have to do this. You don't have to. We'll keep you safe here.
Safety with these men!
What do you mean? We'll keep you
Don't
safe.
be safe!
We'll-
Don't you
I promise!
First!
I promise!
First the door! First! Don't you
Is he dead?
So is the house clear of...
Nothing sharp.
Serious mode.
I knew this would be... Oh. Alright, Sugar, I think you're gonna go
Yeah, I think
outside.
she's gotta go outside. She's tip-tapping. Tip-tapping.
Whoopsie. So tell me about the case.
I was prepared for the lines that you had.
Well, it's not been too bad on set, but there's no cracking, so I'm a little...
Haley looks so scary in that mask. Okay.